It's been a rough couple months for Jon Jones' public image. It seems they're proceeding with the Stipe fight in November, and he had been trying to plant the seed for a showdown with Alex. Everyone was initially against that. Dana had been pretty decisive.
When you think about him moving up to heavyweight, you know, you got Jones, you got Aspinall, and the list goes on in that heavyweight division. Heavyweight division is nasty. I don't know if that's the right move for him. He looked damn good tonight in the division he's in, so.
But then Alex stepped up and took the Yuri rematch on short notice, stopped him in devastating fashion, and suddenly the idea of heavyweight seemed to gain some traction. I don't see a lot of appetite for the Ankalaev fight. Alex is like the hero of the UFC right now. You know, he's willing to push himself in exciting ways. He'd take a fight in an hour's notice. And he's got that kickboxing mentality. They like to get knocked out once or twice a day. That loss to Israel didn't set him back whatsoever. You know, he just kept his foot in the pedal and has achieved shocking things at warp speed. Alex has got to be the most loved fighter in the UFC right now. So although it appears he'd have serious stylistic disadvantages against Jon, the idea of him being the one to beat Jon is just so appealing that I think people want to see him roll the dice. Alex pushing limits, becoming a 3-division champ by beating the most dominant fighter we've ever seen would be the most epic thing possibly in MMA history. There's a lot of demand to see Alex take a shot at historic, unprecedented greatness. Alex is open to the idea, and after the Yuri fight, Dana appeared to be a little more receptive, or at least acknowledge the demand for the fight.
I'm standing up there with the belt and I had Joe Rogan in my ear the whole time we were up there. Let him fight heavyweight, come on, just do it. I know that's what people want to see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out.
And so at this point, you're getting a sense that the tide might actually be turning against the interim champion, Tom Aspinall. Jones versus Alex might just have too much mass appeal. Jones wants it, Alex is game for anything, and Dana started to sound like he could be swayed. So it looked like Aspinall might get left out in the cold again. Well, Tom took matters into his own hands. Aspinall went in there against Blades and put all that talk to rest. He wasn't taking no for an answer. He just would not be denied. I mean, Blades seemed to catch him with some good shots, but he totally failed to earn Tom's respect, who continued to move forward in relentless pursuit of the finish. Aspinall fights like he's in a hurry. He fights like he's late for an appointment. Tom gave us a perfect brief reminder of why he's got so much hype, and solidified his place as the only reasonable option for Jones. I mean, he's defended his interim belt now, which is itself a ridiculous idea. This guy's wins are so quick and decisive, you're starting to wonder who can make it out of a round. And he's so confident that he can actually be the nice guy. He shows Jones all the respect in the world. No problem with his ego. He just feels he can beat Jon. And when he says that, it's clear he believes it.
If I hit someone clean, they're going over. And there's no arguments about that. It's proven now. I want to fight Jon Jones. Or Stipe. Let's not discredit Stipe and what he's done. Whoever wins that one, I'm fighting next, for sure. Unless they both retire. I have nothing against Jon Jones as a person. I think I'm the best heavyweight in the world. And if he thinks he's in the best heavyweight in the world, let's settle it. Let's fight about it. It's pretty simple. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely no disrespect here for all the Jon Jones or Stipe fanboys. I'm the best heavyweight in the world. If they think they are, come and get it. It's very, very easy to settle in this sport. We both sign a contract, we both get a date, we both train for 8 weeks, and let's fight in front of 25,000 people and millions watching around the world, and let's see who the best is. Everyone will see it, we'll decide, and we'll move on.
So this should put the Alex talk to rest for now. It looked like Jon might get his way for a minute, but I think Tom just slammed the door shut.
Jon was there crossing his fingers and toes tonight, hoping that I'd lose to Curtis. Like he posted about it loads anyway, that I'm going to lose to him. Yeah, that didn't happen, so that's the fight I want next.
Dana now seems a little frustrated by questions about Alex at heavyweight, and he's really taken a line that Aspinall is getting the winner of Jones versus Stipe. So it seems that all roads finally lead to Aspinall. There's no denying this guy any longer.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's no doubt. Whoever wins the fight between Jon Jones and Stipe is a great fight for Aspinall. He's different, man. For a heavyweight, the speed, explosiveness, the way that guy moves, power, 100% finish rate. Yeah, he's a bad boy.
Final one for me, just away from this card. Alex Pereira has been looming over the heavyweight division.
He hasn't been looming over the heavyweight division. People have been saying he should go to the heavyweight division. Weren't we just talking about Tom Aspinall?
We were talking about Tom Aspinall, yeah.
Greatest ever?
So maybe Pereira versus Aspinall at some point.
So you think he should move up, and you think he should fight Tom Aspinall?
I mean, the fans want to see it, Dana.
Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
Well, I'm asking you. You think it's a good idea? We were just talking about how he's... Well, you got Jones fighting Stipe. Whoever wins that, they fight Tom Aspinall. Where does he fit into this right now?
There is a lot going on.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
But outside holding up the division with the Stipe fight and trying to build hype for Alex over Aspinall, there's been a couple other things over the last few months that have seen people extremely critical of Jones. Dana didn't help his popularity by bizarrely digging his heels in about Jon being the best fighter on the planet. In fact, in his reality warping rant, Dana almost twists it around so that his inactivity is a point in his favor.
Let's talk about activity. 3 years off. Nobody, not even Ali, nobody's ever come from 3 years off and looked the same. Jon Jones walked through the heavyweight, the #1 guy in the heavyweight division, like it was nothing, with 3 years off.
You know how good he is? He never fucking fights. That's how good he is. No, you're not twisting that in Jones' favor. He had a slew of disappointing performances at light heavyweight. A lot of people felt he lost the Reyes fight. And then coming back, he looked amazing in his one fight at heavyweight, against a guy he had a stylistic advantage over and who really looked like he buckled under the pressure of facing Jones. So not to take anything away from him, the performance deservedly re-established Jon as an absolute force to be reckoned with, but it still doesn't compare to Islam's recent body of work. If you're talking about the current state of affairs, it has to be Islam. So this was just weird to hear from Dana. I was really surprised by this, and it didn't do Jones any favors with the fans. Dana wasn't convincing anyone. Beyond that, you have Jones getting into some really strange interactions with fans. Here's a message he sent some guy who had been talking shit on Twitter. How much you call an elite compared to you? I have multi-millionaire friends, several billionaire friends. Jones is making it sound like he's hanging out with the fucking Rothschilds. Friends in the highest branches of the military. Meanwhile, you make 3D designs, you have no followers, probably still trying to pay off your house, you fucking slug. What type of disgusting human being would have a mortgage? Willing to bet you live in an apartment. Oh, you got him, Jon. What the fuck is wrong with an apartment? A lot of people like to live in cities, Jesus. I don't even understand the insult. You might as well live under a fucking bridge. I brush my teeth with diamonds. I bet you use toothpaste. Ugh. He's out of touch here. This is so bad. I mean, this comes across so bad. And he goes on with more embarrassing drivel. It's so bad that people were unsure if these messages were real. But there was a concept used by the FBI during the hunt for Ted Kaczynski, where they attempted to identify him by his writing style. It's called forensic linguistics. Well, Daniel Cormier appears to have already taken that course. He must have spent a summer up in Quantico. He took one look at these messages and he was able to confirm the author.
Jones wrote that. I'm telling you right now, as a guy that has exchanged direct messages with him, that he wrote that. I think he wrote that.
Actually, I've just realized DC was commenting on a different leaked DM from another fan, where Jones was bragging about owning 2 mansions. So he's just obsessed with real estate for some reason. So I guess we don't really know if he did write these DMs, but he was having a social media meltdown at the time. One other thing Jones added, telling my buddy Jeff to shush probably wasn't a good idea. It's not that hard to find you. Jones has a very particular set of skills. So awful message, out of touch with reality, and it has to be said, a completely warped conception of apartments. You've also got his case going to trial, which I think is a bad sign. You know, I don't think we have enough information to know exactly what happened, but I do think the people who need to know will have the relevant information, because it's not a he said, she said. There was 3 people there, and there was also a video Jones made with Crystal's phone during that interaction. So I think police and prosecutors will have a good sense of what happened. The fact that they are proceeding with things doesn't bode well for Jon. Jerome likely corroborated what she said, and the video Jon made himself with her phone must not have contradicted their story, so I think it's a bad sign. Jones would face less than a year in jail. Yeah. If you head on over to DraftKings, I'm sure the odds on Jones getting locked up are probably slim to none. But the case is going ahead. And look at this. He's already living in a prison. As conditions for his continued release pending a bench trial with a date still to be determined, Jones was ordered by the court to not violate any laws. Most people don't even need to be told that. He's not to possess any firearms or dangerous weapons. He's not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Oh my God, that's worse than any punishment for Jon. He's already in a prison. The ultimate jail cell, sobriety. And you've also got this X factor in that Jones has kind of run into the MMA Guru, who has probably got the biggest reach on YouTube right now. This happened in April. Now, some people might think this is a joke, but I think this could be quite significant, especially if Jones does end up fighting Aspinall. When you look back at the Adesanya thing with his dog, that certainly appeared to get inside Israel's head. It's kind of surreal. Like, you have the whole MMA circus of Fight Week. The press conferences, the fans, the media days, the weigh-ins, all the official proceedings. And then you've got this guy making videos from his home somewhere in the UK, who seemed to reach his hand into the build-up and have some type of meaningful effect on things. I'm not exactly sure to what extent he was behind the Izzy thing, but I think it was to a very significant degree. I mean, obviously, Israel didn't help himself by posting a video in which he was fiddling with his dog. Why did he do that? What was going through his head? Fiddling around with your dog's junk. Oh, gotta share this with the world. But after that clip resurfaced, I think a lot of the fanning of the flames was from the MMA Guru. That's my understanding of events. So I think we do already have an example of this guy impacting the build-up in a very significant manner. Do I think he broke Izzy or he's the reason Strickland won? I'm not saying that, but I think it did affect Israel, and I think that's hard to deny. There was a lot of things that seemed to throw Izzy. The Strickland whirlwind itself, the Aussies embracing Sean, but I do think that dog meme was one of them. According to Sean Strickland, it was the very first thing he mentioned after the fight.
It was fucking strange. He was like I think he was mad that I made from his dog. I'm not even joking. Is that what it was? He was mad that I made from his dog. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Like, Izzy, I'm sorry I made fun of your dog. I'm sure he's a great fella.
I think it was his dog that's passed away, that's tattooed on his neck.
Oh, is that what it is?
He said in an interview he was going to go John Wick on you.
Well, in April, he uploaded a video theorizing that Jones is
so far in the closet he's met Aslan. That's all I'll say. And Mr. Tumnus. The lot. I want to say there's nothing wrong, YouTube administration team, with what I'm accusing Jon Jones of being. In fact, I'm making this video with a purpose of gaining Jon Jones a new niche of a fan base that he didn't even know he could have.
And the MMA Guru kind of pieced together clips and facts that he feels support his theory. I don't think it matters if it's true or false. I don't think it matters if people believe it. I think what matters is the utility of the idea as a meme, the humor and the entertainment value that people get out of the idea. Because I think that's what will give these ideas their power and will potentially create a massive headache for Jones. This idea did appear to tick a lot of those boxes. It spread like fucking wildfire. And it's now part of the humor that surrounds Jon. Every statement about Jones is quickly examined for how it can be turned into an innuendo. And I think a big part of that is because people see Jon as the most righteous target. That's what the MMA Guru was saying himself when he was defending that video on Twitter. Responding to Jake Shields, he said the following, and this guy is not playing around. With respect, Jake, wife beaters like Jon deserve disrespect and ridicule. In a just society, a group of men would have found Jon and beat him with clubs the day after he beat the fuck out of his wife. We are not in a just society. We've had people over the years like Colby who said that not caring is a superpower. This guy doesn't give a fuck, okay? He's ruffling the fuck out of a lot of feathers. Doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit. He gets a lot of backlash on Twitter. Doesn't care. In a just society where they would beat him with clubs the day after he beat the fuck out of his wife. Oh my God. He ruffles feathers, he gets tons of backlash, but a lot of people agree with him. A lot of people would read that statement and say, he's exactly right. And this is why I think the Jones theory was so potent, because for a lot of people, Jon represents a righteous target. Sean Strickland jumped in to defend the MMA Guru. Guy smacked his wife, hit a pregnant woman, negligent discharge, fair game. And Jon really hasn't been doing himself any favors in terms of building up any goodwill with fans. There's utter contempt here for normal people with mortgages, or God forbid, living in apartments. Oh, the horror. He's got constant issues outside the cage. He's threatening to come and find guys talking shit on Twitter, dismissing the interim belt holder and fucking up the division. Now he's got this case going to trial. You know, there's so much going on in the Jon Jones universe. Now, I think Jones is mentally tougher than Adesanya, for example. And I also think Jones is excellent when it comes to trash talk himself. Even his Twitter can be great. So when the MMA Guru uploaded this video, and it spread like wildfire, Jones might have deleted the tweet, but initially Jones responded by uploading a photo of him with a group of men. And he added the caption, "Am I the only one who takes my guy friends out for ice cream?" So he was leaning into it. Now that's just a very strong response, because he didn't deny it. He didn't even address it. What he was essentially saying was, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'll lean into it. I don't care. And we kind of saw Drakus do the same thing with Strickland. When Strickland was talking about Drakus kissing guys, Drakus just leaned into it.
You're talking about me kissing other dudes? I have more photos. Jeez, you think I care? Kissing my coach, kissing my dad, kissing my brothers. So what? I don't care. I love those people. That's my family.
But then he did come out, and without naming him, he did address the MMA Guru in a way that did indicate actually he was frustrated by the whole thing. And to me, that was a mistake from Jones, because the MMA Guru now knows he can really get to Jon. He knows he's under Jon's skin, and he can roll this theory out or fan the flames whenever he feels like. So that could actually be significant. Crazy that we live in a world where influencers can persuade the minds of the boys on the internet, literally some random loser with a microphone in his basement. People can just say anything they want these days. I find it fascinating. So Jones doesn't seem, it's not like he's irate there, but he is taking shots, and it does appear to be getting under his skin. So as I said, I think all roads lead to Tom Aspinall at this point. And I think Tom has all the skills and all the belief and self-confidence to be a nightmare for Jon. Easily one of the toughest tests of his career. And I think you'll have the MMA Guru taking shots from the sidelines in a way that could wobble Jones a little. Maybe occupy his mind, take up some mental energy in a way that, who knows, could be significant. You know, just as it got strange for Israel, there does appear to be an equally potent confluence of factors on the horizon for Jon. I think the next couple fights, and especially Aspinall, are going to be a unique test for Jones on multiple fronts. I think it's all going to get pretty interesting.
Mate, that's exactly why I'm not on social media, because of stuff like this.
Yeah. It's not on social media, but you are subscribed to Stipe's OnlyFans, I imagine.
Are the dick pics on there?
I think
maybe John's subscribed to it.